Most men think looking expensive means spending more. It doesn't. In fact, some of the wealthiest men in the room are wearing less than you and still commanding 10 times the attention. Here's what actually works. Walk into any high-level boardroom, any private members club, any first-class lounge. The men who look like they belong, the ones who get treated differently before they even speak. They aren't covered in logos. They aren't drowning in designer labels. They understand something most men never will. Looking expensive is a system. It's a set of decisions. And those decisions have almost nothing to do with price tags. And most of it costs less than what's already in your closet. You won't hear this on most style channels. Principle 1. Fit is the first signal. This is the single most overlooked weapon in a man's wardrobe. A $200 suit that fits perfectly will always destroy a $2,000 suit that doesn't. Always. Fit doesn't whisper. It announces. It tells people you pay attention, that you're intentional, that you care about the details others ignore. Here's what fit signals: discipline, control, self-awareness. Here's what poor fit signals: no matter the brand, carelessness, laziness, a man who doesn't notice. And if you don't notice how your own clothes fall on your body, what else are you missing? The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Find a tailor, not an expensive one, a competent one. Have your shoulders dialed, your trousers hemmed to the right break, your shirt taken in at the waist. This costs $30 to $50 per piece. That's it. The return on that investment? You instantly look like you spent 5 times more than you did. Fit is not a preference. It's the foundation. Everything else is noise without it. Principle 2. The color discipline. Most men overdress by overcoloring. Here's the counterintuitive truth. The most expensive-looking men use fewer colors, not more. Navy, charcoal, black, white, cream, olive. That's the core palette. That's the vocabulary of quiet authority. This doesn't mean boring, it means strategic. A navy overcoat over a charcoal turtleneck with dark trousers and clean leather shoes. That outfit costs maybe $300 total, but it reads like $3,000 because the color story is clean, cohesive, controlled. Now compare that to a man wearing a bright patterned shirt, tan chinos, a brown belt that doesn't match his shoes, and a silver watch with a blue dial. That man might have spent more, but he looks like he's trying. And trying is the enemy of expensive. Price isn't the signal, cohesion is. Wealthy men don't think about what stands out. They think about what flows. Everything connects. Nothing fights. Master this, and people will assume you spent a fortune, even when you didn't spend close to it. Principle 3. Fabric over brand. Here's where most men get completely played. They buy a brand name stitched onto mediocre fabric and call it luxury. That's not luxury, that's marketing. Real quality, the kind that people feel when they see you, comes from the fabric itself. A merino wool sweater from an unbranded store will always outclass a polyester blend from a famous label. The drape is different, the way it catches light, the way it moves with your body, the weight of it. You don't need to become a textile expert. You just need to learn 3 words. Natural fibers first. Cotton, wool, linen, cashmere, silk. These are the fabrics that look expensive because they behave like expensive. They age well, they sit well, they feel substantial. Synthetic blends look flat, they wrinkle wrong, they shine in cheap ways, they feel hollow. You can find natural fiber garments at every price point: Uniqlo, COS, Massimo Dutti, Arket. These brands offer pieces that punch well above their weight because they focus on fabric, not flash. Most men misunderstand this completely. You're not paying for a name. You're paying for how something falls across your shoulders, for the visual weight it carries, for the signal it sends before you say a word. Principle 4. Shoes, the silent judgment. This is non-negotiable. People look at your shoes, consciously and subconsciously, in every room, in every interaction. It's the quickest shortcut the brain uses to assess status. A man in a perfect outfit with bad shoes. The entire image collapses. A man in a simple outfit with impeccable shoes. He gets the benefit of the doubt. Every time. You need exactly 3 pairs to build an expensive presence. 1. A clean, dark leather dress shoe. cap toe or whole cut. No excessive broguing, no square toes. 2. A minimalist white leather sneaker, not chunky, not overstyled. Clean lines, slim profile. 3. A dark leather boot, Chelsea or zip. Sleek silhouette. No heavy soles unless the aesthetic demands it. That's the rotation. Those 3 pairs, well maintained, will cover 90% of situations. And maintaining them is part of the game. Polish your shoes, use cedar shoe trees, condition the leather. This costs minutes. But it signals something money can't buy. Standards. Principle 5, the grooming multiplier. This isn't a style video without saying this. You can wear the perfect outfit, perfect fit, perfect color palette, perfect fabric, perfect shoes. And if your skin looks neglected, your hair is unkempt, your nails are rough, and your brows are untamed. It all falls apart. Grooming is the multiplier. It takes a 7 and makes it a 9, or it takes a 9 and drags it to a 5. The expensive look starts at the skin. A basic routine, cleanser, moisturizer, SPF, costs less than a decent lunch. But it compounds over time. It gives your face structure, clarity, health. Get a proper haircut every 3 to 4 weeks. Find a barber who understands your face shape. Keep your facial hair intentional. Clean edges, deliberate length. Handle your hands, trim nails, push cuticles, moisturize. This takes 10 minutes a day, and it separates the men who look expensive from the men who just wear expensive things. There's a difference, a massive one. Now, here's the mistake most men make. They learn all of this, fit, color, fabric, shoes, grooming, and then they overdo it. They stack every element to the maximum. They dress to the nines for a Tuesday afternoon coffee run. They wear a blazer, pocket square, dress shoes, and a statement watch to pick up groceries. And they look ridiculous, not because the pieces are wrong, but because the context is wrong. The goal isn't to impress everyone. It's to look like you belong, everywhere, without effort, without costume. The wealthiest men you'll ever meet dress appropriately for every situation, not above it. They match the room, then elevate by 10%, never more. That restraint, that's the real signal. Not flash, not noise. Restraint. Principle 6, the watch equation. Most men think they need a Rolex to be taken seriously. They don't. What they need is the right watch on the right wrist at the right time. That's it. A clean minimal dress watch with a leather strap, 38 to 40 millimeters, will outclass a gaudy oversized chronograph every day of the week, because proportion matters. Subtlety matters. Knowing when to whisper instead of shout, that matters. Brands like Orient, Tissot, Seiko Presage, these produce timepieces that look and feel like they cost 4 times their price tag. Why? Because the design language is restrained. The proportions are correct. The finishing is honest. A man wearing a slim, elegant watch doesn't need anyone to notice it. But when they do, and they will, it confirms everything else about him. It says, this man doesn't need to prove anything. He already knows. The wrong watch screams for validation. The right watch simply confirms what people already suspect. You won't hear this in most style channels. Principle 7, the fragrance invisible edge. This is the most underestimated weapon in a man's arsenal. You can't see fragrance. You can't photograph it. It doesn't show up on camera, and yet, it is the single most emotional trigger in human perception. A man who smells intentional gets remembered, period. Not because the scent is loud, not because it fills a room, but because it creates a private moment, an invisible signature that lingers after he's gone. Here's the rule. Wear fragrance for the close encounter, not the grand entrance. 2 sprays, neck, wrist. That's it. If someone across the room can smell you, you've already lost. You don't need niche bottles at $300 a pop. Dior Homme Intense, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, Prada L'Homme. These are accessible, widely available, and they project quiet sophistication without a single word spoken. The goal isn't to be smelled by everyone, it's to be remembered by the right one. Fragrance doesn't announce, it imprints. Most men misunderstand this completely. Principle 8, the posture tax. This one costs nothing, literally $0, and it changes everything. You can wear a $3,000 outfit, tailored, perfect fabric, pristine shoes, a signature fragrance, and if you stand with rounded shoulders, a forward neck, and your eyes on the floor, none of it registers. The entire investment vanishes. Posture is the frame, everything else is the painting, and no painting survives a broken frame. Shoulders back and down, chest open, chin parallel to the ground, hands relaxed, never fidgeting, never stuffed into pockets like you're hiding something. This is what CEOs are coached on. This is what elite public speakers drill relentlessly. Not because it's cosmetic, because it restructures how people perceive authority, competence, and status in real time. A man with average clothes and commanding posture will always be perceived as higher status than a man in designer clothes who carries himself like he's apologizing for being in the room. Posture doesn't cost a cent, but neglecting it? That's the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. Price isn't the signal, presence is. Principle 9, the accessory restraint rule. Here's where most men sabotage themselves. They discover accessories and suddenly they're wearing all of them. A bracelet stack, a ring on every other finger, a pocket square, a lapel pin, a tie bar, a chain, all at once, all fighting for attention. And the result? They look like a man trying to assemble a personality from a display case. Elite presence is built on editing, not adding. One accessory, maybe two. That's the ceiling, and each one must earn its place. A single well-chosen ring on the right hand. A pair of quality sunglasses with classic frames. Aviator or Wayfarer, nothing experimental. A leather bracelet that sits quietly beneath a shirt cuff. A belt that matches your shoe leather exactly, not approximately exactly. These are the details that compound. Individually, they're invisible. Together, they build a picture of a man who is considered, precise, in control of every element without ever appearing to think about it. That's the illusion. It should look effortless. But effortless is engineered. The moment you're decorated, you're diminished. Because decoration says you needed help. Restraint says you never did. One, maybe two, never more. That's the rule the quietly wealthy follow, and they never break it. Principle 10. The undergarment secret no one talks about. This is the principle that separates men who look expensive from men who are expensive. And nobody discusses it because it's invisible. Your base layer, the t-shirt beneath the shirt, the socks inside the shoes, the underwear beneath the trousers, these pieces dictate how everything above them sits, moves, and feels. A cheap, ill-fitting undershirt bunches at the waist. It creates lines beneath your dress shirt. It ruins the silhouette. That crisp, clean look you spent time building, destroyed from the inside out. A quality crew neck or V-neck undershirt in cotton or modal, fitted, not tight, creates a smooth canvas. No lines, no bunching, no visual noise bleeding through your outer layer. The same applies to socks. Thin, cheap socks wrinkle at the ankle. They slip down, they peek out at the wrong moment and tell a different story than the rest of your outfit. A pair of quality over-the-calf socks in merino or combed cotton. They stay in place. They disappear. They do their job without ever being noticed. And that's the point. The best foundation work is the kind nobody sees, but everybody feels. This is what separates intention from accident. A man who controls what's invisible controls the entire picture. The surface is what people see, but the structure is what makes them believe it. Most men build from the outside in. The elite build from the inside out. Let's talk about what happens if you ignore all of this. You blend in. You become invisible. You walk into a room, and no one registers you. Not because you're not capable. Not because you're not intelligent. But because nothing about your presence says, pay attention. Or worse, you try too hard. You overcompensate with logos, with loud pieces, with trends you don't understand. And the people who actually operate at a high level, they see right through it. They can smell try hard from across the room. It signals insecurity. It signals a man who's performing status instead of possessing it. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People make judgments in the first 7 seconds. Before you speak, before you shake hands, before you present your credentials. Those 7 seconds are determined by fit, color, fabric, shoes, grooming, and composure. That's it. That's the entire equation. The men who understand this, the ones who invest time, not just money, they get seated at better tables. They get approached differently. They get assumed competence before they've earned it in the conversation. Is that fair? No. Is that reality? Every single day. You're either engineering that perception or you're leaving it to chance. And leaving it to chance is how you stay overlooked. This is where things go wrong for most men. They know they should care. They feel the gap. But they don't have the system. They buy randomly. They dress reactively. And they wonder why nothing changes. If you want to upgrade your presence immediately, not next month, not next year, right now, follow this rule. Step 1. Eliminate noise. Go through your wardrobe. Remove anything that doesn't fit properly. Remove anything with visible branding larger than a coin. Remove anything made of cheap synthetic fabric that wrinkles, shines, or pills. Be ruthless. A smaller wardrobe of quality pieces will always outperform a packed closet of mediocrity. Step 2. Choose intentional pieces. Build around neutrals. Invest in fit, not brand. Prioritize fabric weight and drape. Own fewer things, but own the right things. Every piece should work with at least 3 others in your wardrobe. If it doesn't, it's a costume piece. Let it go. Step 3. Leave a signature. This is what separates good dressers from memorable ones. A signature isn't a gimmick. It's a consistent element that becomes synonymous with your presence. Maybe it's always wearing a clean turtleneck under your blazer. Maybe it's a specific fragrance people associate with you. Maybe it's a single, well-chosen accessory. A watch, a ring, a specific style of eyewear. One signature element, consistent, recognizable, yours. That's how you become the man who walks into a room and people think he didn't spend a fortune, but he looks like he owns the room because he does. Looking expensive was never about money. It was always about decisions, precision, restraint. The men who understand this don't chase trends. They build systems. And those systems compound every single day. Presence isn't loud, it's intentional. Subscribe for more strategies that separate average from elite.